Haftarat Vayak'hel. King Shlomo sent for Hiram and brought him from Tzor. He was the son of a widow from the tribe of Naphtali, but his father was from Tzor, a bronze worker filled with wisdom, understanding, and skill for all kinds of bronze craftsmanship. He came to King Shlomo and did all his bronze work. He made the 2 bronze columns, each one 31.5 feet high and 21 feet in circumference. He made 2 capitals of melted bronze to set on the tops of the columns. Each capital was 8.75 feet high. He also made checker-worked nets and chain wreath, 7 for the top of each capital. When he made the columns, he made 2 rows of pomegranates to put at the top of each column around the netting covering its capital. The capitals on the columns in the hall had shapes like lilies and were 7 feet high. As for the capitals on the 2 columns, there were 200 pomegranates in rows around each capital near the molding by the netting. He erected the columns in the hall of the temple. On erecting the right column, he gave it the name Yachin, and on erecting the left column, he named it Boaz. On the tops of the columns were shapes like lilies, thus the work of the columns was finished. He made the cast metal C circular, 17.5 feet from rim to rim, 8.75 feet high, and 52.5 feet in circumference. Under its rim, 300 gourds encircled it in 2 rows that were cast when the sea was cast. It rested on 12 oxen, 3 looking north, 3 looking west, 3 looking south, and 3 looking east, all with their hindquarters toward the center. The sea was set on top of them. It was a handbreadth thick. Its rim was made like the rim of a cup, like the flower of a lily, and its capacity was 11,000 gallons. Hiram made the ash pot, shovels, and sprinkling basins. With that, Hiram completed all the work he had done for King Shlomo in the house of Adonai. The 2 columns, the 2 moldings of the capitals on top of the columns, the 2 nettings covering the 2 moldings of the capitals atop the columns, the 400 pomegranates for the 2 nettings, 2 rows of pomegranates for each netting, to cover the 2 moldings of the capitals atop the columns, the 10 trolleys, the 10 basins on the trolleys, the 1 sea, the 12 oxen under the sea, the ash pots, the shovels, and the sprinkling basins. All these articles that Hiram made for King Shlomo in the house of Adonai were of burnished bronze. The king cast them in the plain of the Yarden, in the clay ground between Sukkot and Zartan. Shlomo did not weigh any of these objects because there were so many of them. Thus the total weight of the bronze could not be determined. Shlomo made all the objects that were inside the house of Adonai: the gold altar, the table of gold on which the showbread was displayed, the menorahs, 5 on the right and 5 on the left in front of the sanctuary, of pure gold, the flowers, lamps, and tongs of gold, the cups, snuffers, basins, incense pans, and fire pans of pure gold, and the hinges of gold, both those for the doors of the inner house, the especially holy place, and those for the doors of the house, that is of the temple.